Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another installment of Finding Hope Through Faith. My name is Daniel. We are in Deuteronomy and also happen to be in the book of Enoch at the same time, just to kind of read through it and see. It doesn't have to be that way forever, but I feel like I like the Enoch parts too. So, maybe we should do two at a time. I don't know. Figure it out. Or maybe just Enoch and then go back. But whatever. We'll figure it out. So, the book of Enoch is very just, it's direct. This will happen. This is going to happen. This is kind of threw me off when I first started reading it. So that was what you were going to see. Hopefully some positivity at some point. Not murdering people just because they own land. Just like, that's silly. It's so silly. It's like, why is this? Don't kill people, but it's okay this time. It's okay this time because you got to get the land that I promised you. Maybe instead, you should look at it this way. Maybe instead, if they had done what the Lord told them to do in the first place, they wouldn't have had to wait so long to be brought to the promised land. Because there were probably no people there in the first place. But now they have to do this. Now, in order to get the land that was promised to them, they have to do whatever they have to do to get the land. And all the cattle. All women and children and idols have to go. All of them. So now it's like, this is what happens when you don't listen to me. Now you got to commit this atrocity to get what I promised you. Because it's what it is. It would be an atrocity to wipe out civilizations so you could take over them. It doesn't matter how you look at it. It's atrocious. If you got to go into land and kill the inhabitants of that land to take it over, what right do you have to the land? You have no right. It's ridiculous. But it's happened. It happens everywhere. Throughout all history, people just kill each other for land, for stuff, for land. Now look at us. I think it's pretty sad. It's sad that it has to get to this point, or maybe it didn't. Maybe it didn't have to get to this point. I'm talking about like what's going on now in 2026. Was there any other way to do it besides this? Was there no diplomacy that could be had? Maybe so many people didn't need to die. It's like this big spectacle. They wanted to be this big. Because why? Why else are they doing it on such a scale? The U.S. has done it before. They go in, they murder the dictator, they implant a dictator, and that dictator runs the world, or runs that country. Why can't? I mean, that could have happened, but no, we gotta destroy everything because we have to be this big spectacle for stuff. That makes no sense to me. And it's on the grand stage, the biggest stage in the world. It's war. It's like exercising the might of war, of your phallus. It's like a penis measuring contest. And we're all there to pick up the pieces when it all falls apart, because inevitably it will. And then what else are they going to do? They're going to pit more people against other people? Because there can't be unity. Can't unify nothing. Everybody's got to hate each other. It makes no sense. We could just love each other, but no, we got to hate each other, because that's what people in power want. They want all skin colors to hate all skin colors, because it makes money. It drives a wedge between us, so we don't. Because I can guarantee you that if we all unified and we all stood up, there would be no stopping the general public. But we can't, because we hate each other so much. But I don't hate nobody. I love everybody. I hope everybody is prosperous. There's certain people that are bad, shouldn't be allowed to be in society. The bad people should not be allowed to be in society. Only the good people should. And good people come in all shapes and sizes and colors. Come in everything. All colors of wheat. All orientations or whatever. As long as you're not crazy, man. Like, the crazy people need help. And the people that are bad don't need to be in the society. We have to decide that as a society. That bad people can't be here. That whatever it is, doesn't matter what your influence is or whatever, however much money you have or whatever you are. If you're bad, you can't be in society. Like, build your own society. Live that. But they have to be removed from ours in order to prosper and move forward. Anyway, so we're in Deuteronomy chapter 14 and then Enoch book 1, chapter 11. Let's get into it. So Deuteronomy first. You are the children of the Lord your God. You shall not gash yourselves, nor shave the hair above your foreheads for the deed. Now, this is... Let me see what was going on. Hold on. I'm going to keep reading. Maybe it will explain itself. Because I'm reading back and I don't see anything that's talking about a deed they have to do. Besides going in over the Jordan and then into the promised land. So it's the only thing I'm seeing. I'm not seeing why. So let's keep going. For you are the people sacred to the Lord your God, who has chosen you from all the nations on the face of the earth to be a people peculiarly his own. You shall not eat any abominable thing. These are the animals you may eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the red deer, the gazelle, the roe deer, the ibex, the adix, the oryx, and the mountain sheep. Any animal that has hoofs you may eat, provided it is cloven-footed and chews the cud. But you shall not eat any of the following that only chew the cud or have cloven hoofs: the camel, the hare, and the rock badger, which indeed chew the cud, but do not have hoofs, and therefore unclean for you. And the pig, which indeed has hoofs, and is cloven-footed, but does not chew the cud, and therefore unclean for you. I think a lot of people, me included, that was going to be hard. First of all, I love bacon. Maybe I shouldn't love bacon so much, but I do love bacon. But maybe it's right to give up pork. I was told that pigs, they spread around, like they populate areas very fast, like a pest. And like we won't eat roaches. So maybe pigs should be treated the same. Maybe their populations just need to be controlled. Anyway, their flesh you shall not eat, and their dead bodies you shall not touch. Of the various creatures that live in the water, whatever has both fins and scales you may eat. But all those that lack either fins or scales you shall not eat, but they are unclean for you. You may eat all clean birds, but you shall not eat any of the following: the eagle, the vulture, the osprey, the various kites and falcons, all the various species of crows, the ostrich, the nightjar, the gull, the various species of hawks, the owl, the screech owl, the ibis, the desert owl, the buzzard, the cormorant, the stork, the various species of herons, the hopo, and the bat. All winged insects too are unclean for you, and you shall not eat them. But you may eat any clean winged creature. You may not eat any animal that has died of itself, for you are a people sacred to the Lord your God. But you may give it to an alien who belongs to your community, and he may eat it, or you may sell it to a foreigner. You shall not boil a kid in its mother's milk. What? You shall not boil a kid in his mother's milk. Okay, so like a goat, like a baby goat. I see. Each year you shall tithe all the produce that grows in the field you have sown. Then in the place where the Lord your God chooses as a dwelling place of his name, you shall eat in his presence your tithe of the grain, wine, and oil, as well as the firstlings of your herd and flock, that you may learn always to fear the Lord your God. If, however, the journey is too much for you and you are not able to bring your tithe because the place which the Lord your God chooses for the abode of his name is too far for you, considering how the Lord has blessed you, you may exchange the tithe for money, and with the purpose of money in hand, go to the place which the Lord your God chooses. You may then exchange the money for whatever you desire, oxen or sheep, wine or strong drink, or anything else you would enjoy. And there before the Lord your God you shall partake of it, and make merry with your family. But do not neglect the Levite who belongs to your community, for he has no share in the heritage with you. At the end of every third year, you shall also bring out all the tithes of your produce for that year and deposit them in community stores, that the Levite who has no share in the heritage with you, and also the alien, the orphan, and the widow who belong to your community may come and eat their fill, so that the Lord your God may bless you in all that you undertake. Well, that's nice. Some things you can eat, some things you can't eat. Feed everybody. But nothing that dies by itself. You have to kill it. Just make sure, I guess, to make sure that you know when it died, because you don't know how old something is. At the end of every 7-year period, you shall have a relaxation of debts, which shall be observed as follows. Every creditor shall relax his claim on what he has loaned to his neighbor. He must not press his neighbor, his kinsman, because a relaxation in honor of the Lord has been proclaimed. You may press a foreigner, but you shall relax the claim of your kinsman for what is yours. Nay, more, since the Lord your God will bless you abundantly in the land he will give you to occupy as your heritage, there should be no one of you in need. If you but heed the voice of the Lord your God, and carefully observe all these commandments which I enjoin on you today, you will lend to many nations and borrow from none. You will rule over many nations, and none will rule over you, since the Lord your God will bless you as he promised. If one of your kinsmen in any community is in need of the land which the Lord your God is giving you, you shall not harden your heart or close your hand to him in his need. Instead, you shall open your hand to him and freely lend him enough to meet his need. Be on your guard lest, entertaining the mean thought that the 7th year be the year of relaxation is near, you grudge help your needy kinsman and give him nothing, else he will cry to the Lord against you, and you will be held guilty. When you give to him, give freely and not with ill will. For the Lord your God will bless you for this in all your works and undertakings. That's pretty good. We're going to move on to the Enoch now. All right. Enoch, Book 1, Chapter 11. So, last time we were together, if I'm not mistaken, they found the Nephilim and they had to destroy them because they defiled themselves. So now we're kind of catching up on that. And in those days I will open the store chambers of blessing which are in heaven, so as to send them down upon the earth over the work and labor of the children of men. And the truth and peace shall be associated together throughout all the days of the world and throughout all the generations of men. Dream vision of Enoch, his intersection of Azazel and the fallen angels, and the announcement to them of their first and final doom. Oh, that's great. This is chapter 12, same book. Before these things Enoch was hidden, and no one of the children of men knew where he was hidden, and where he abode, and what had become of him. And his activities had to do with the watchers, and his days were with the holy ones. And I, Enoch, was blessing the Lord of majesty and the King of ages. And lo, the watchers called me Enoch, the scribe, and said to me, Enoch, thou scribe of righteousness, go declare to the watchers of heaven, who have left the high heaven, the holy eternal place, and have defiled themselves with women, and have done as children of earth do, and have taken unto themselves wives. Ye have wrought great destruction on the earth, and ye shall have no peace nor forgiveness of sin. And inasmuch as they delight themselves in their children, the murder of their beloved ones shall they see, and over the destruction of their children shall they lament, and shall make supplication unto eternity. But mercy and peace shall ye not attain. Whoa. Woo. That's heavy. But they did it. I bet God had this whole conversation with them before this happened, and they was like, don't do that. We don't do this. We don't do this at all. Like, based on what the readings are, God's very good about giving direct instructions of what he wants. Why would he live this out? And now they did it. Now the world has to be flooded. This is where the deluge happens. It's where the world gets flooded and everybody dies. It was just done by angels, right? Or the watchers. Anyway, chapter 13. And Enoch went and said, Azazel, thou shalt have no peace. A severe sentence has gone forth against thee to put thee in bonds. And thou shalt not have toleration, nor request granted to thee, because of the unrighteousness which thou hast taught. And because of all the works of godlessness and unrighteousness and sin where thou hast shown to men. Then I went and spoke to them all together, and they were all afraid, and fear and trembling seized them. And they besought me to draw up a petition for them, that they might find forgiveness, and to read their petition in the presence of the Lord of heaven. For from thenceforth they could not speak with him, nor lift up their eyes to heaven for shame of their sins, for which they had been condemned. Then I wrote out their petition, and the prayer in regard to the spirits, and the deeds individually in regard to their requests, that they should have forgiveness and length of days. And I went off and sat down in the waters of Dan, in the land of Dan, to the southwest of Hermon. I read the petition till I fell asleep, and behold, a dream came to me, and the visions fell down upon me, and I saw visions of chastisement, and a voice came bidding me, I to tell it to the sons of heaven, and reprimand them. And when I awaked, I came unto them, and they were all sitting gathered together, weeping in a city I can't pronounce. Okay, with their faces covered, and I recounted before them all the visions which I had seen in my sleep, and I began to speak the words of righteousness and to reprimand the heavenly watchers. We're going to start chapter 14. The book of the words of righteousness and of the reprimand of the eternal watchers, in accordance with the command of the Holy Great One in that vision. I saw in my sleep what I will now say with a tongue of flesh and with a breath of my mouth, which the Great One has given to men to converse therewith and understand with the heart. As he has created and given to man the power of understanding the word of wisdom, so he hath created me and given me the power of reprimanding the watchers, the children of heaven. I wrote out your petition, and in my vision it appeared thus, that your petition will not be granted unto you throughout all the days of eternity, and that judgment has been finally passed upon you. Yeah, your petition will not be granted unto you. And from henceforth you shall not ascend into heaven unto all eternity. And in bonds of the earth that decree has gone forth to bind you for all the days of this world. And that previously, you shall have seen the destruction of your beloved sons, and ye shall have no pleasure in them, but they shall fall before you by the sword. And your petition on their behalf shall not be granted, nor yet your own, even though you weep and pray and speak all the words contained in the writing which I have written. And the vision was shown to me thus: Behold, in the vision clouds invited me in a midst and summoned me, and the course of the stars and the lightnings sped and hastened me. And the winds in the vision caused me to fly, and lifted me upward, and bore me into heaven. And when I went in till I drew nigh to a wall which was built of crystals and surrounded by tongues of fire. And it began to affright me. And I went into the tongues of fire, and drew nigh to a large house which was built of crystals. And the walls of the house were like a tessellated floor made of crystals, and its groundwork was of crystal. Its ceiling was like a path of the stars and the lightnings, and between them were fiery cherubim, and their heaven was clear as water. A flaming fire surrounded the walls, and its portals blazed with fire. And I entered into that house, and it was hot as fire, and as cold as ice. There were no delights of life therein. Fear covered me, and trembling got a hold of me. And as I quaked and trembled, I fell upon my face, and I beheld a vision. And lo, there was a second house, greater than the former, and the entire portal stood open before me. And it was built of flames of fire. In every aspect, it is so excelled in splendor and in magnificent and extent that I cannot describe to you its splendor and its extent. And its floor was a fire, and above it were lightnings and the path of the stars. It was a ceiling, was flaming fire. And I looked and saw therein a lofty throne. Its appearance was as crystal, and the wheels thereof as shining sun. And there was a vision of cherubim. And from underneath the throne came streams of flaming fire, so that I could not look thereon. And the great glory sat thereon, and his raiment shone more brightly than sun, and was whiter than any snow. For none of the angels could enter and could behold his face, by reason of the magnificence and glories, and no flesh could behold him. The flaming fire was around about him, and a great fire stood before him, and none around could draw nigh to him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him, yet he needed no counselor. And the most holy ones who were nigh to him did not leave by night, nor depart from him. And until then I had been prostrate on my face, trembling. And the Lord called me with his own mouth, and said to me, Come hither, Enoch, and hear my word. And one of the holy ones came to me and waked me, and he made me rise up and approach the door, and I bowed my face downwards. Wow. That is, I've never heard heaven be explained in this way before. That's super interesting. That's super interesting. Because it's like, you never, like, that's a pretty in-depth description, I think. Anyway, we're going to stop it there tonight. Pick it up tomorrow. See what's going on. Thanks for coming to see me. Everything's starting to be more exciting. Hope to see you next time. Have a good day.